So, with this in mind, let's think about it. Which of the following activities involves the utmost human expression of passion, talent, and intelligence? What of these things is like the ultimate human achievement? So, is painting and sculptures, like the paintings of Da Vinci and the sculptures of Michelangelo, is that like the best that humans have ever accomplished? Or literature, is the literature of Hemingway or Alexander Dumas, is that the best that humans have ever accomplished? Or music, the music of Bach and Beethoven, or the Beatles, or Coldplay, or whoever you like, is that the best that humans have accomplished? Spirituality, what about that? Is spirituality the most important thing that humans have ever done or sought to understand? Or sciences, maybe the research that's happened in the last year for a vaccine for the coronavirus, or maybe inventing the wheel, or maybe the discovery of electricity. Maybe that for sure is the best. Or maybe athletics. Maybe the Olympic gold medalists are the greatest expression of what it means to be a human. So, as I went through this list, you maybe felt a little conflicted. The answer is that none of these are defined as the greatest expression of human passion, talent, intelligence, all those. These are questions that are philosophical and they're not scientific. So somebody in this class maybe is more interested in art, and the paintings of Van Gogh to them are just the best. And for that person, that's great. Maybe somebody in here is a big reader and they love the works of Hemingway, or maybe they find Shakespeare's sonnets to be just so meaningful. I like music, I like science. These two things are really important to me. Spirituality and athletics and the rest. The point is, these are philosophical discussions, they're not scientific discussions. So, that's not to say that these things aren't important, but things that depend on human opinion and passion and talent tend to lie outside of the realm of science, which is okay. And I think they make for a well-rounded person, but they're not really things that we're going to talk too much about in this class. So, the physical sciences. You might be asking, what have I got myself into with this class? Often I find students absolutely dread taking physical science because the word physical sounds kind of like physics, and many of you maybe have heard or have experienced that physics can be a little bit challenging, and with good reason. I know that most of you in this class are not going to be science majors, and that's okay. I was a science major, but I understand that is not something that always brings people joy. So I'm going to try to make this class something that even those of you who are not science majors can still find stuff that you enjoy in this class, and I'm going to try my best to make it something that you can all succeed at. So, to start off, we're going to just do a little understanding of what actually is physical science. So, yes, it does include a bit of physics. Physics is the study of motion, force, energy, matter, heat, sound, light, the building blocks of matter. Basically, physics helps us understand why the world around us works the way it does. When you throw a basketball toward the hoop, what decides if it's going to go into the hoop and make a basket or hit the rim and bounce off? And yes, there's talent involved with that, but there's also physics involved with it. Chemistry is the next part. So chemistry is what my degree is in. It's what I normally teach. But chemistry tells us how matter is put together and interacts with other matter. Matter being the stuff that's around you. Everything in the universe is either energy or matter. Physics deals more with energy. Chemistry deals more with matter. This chemistry, we're going to stick mostly just to the concepts of it, and we're not going to be doing too much with our calculators and math. We're going to just kind of get a good idea of what chemistry is, and if you're interested in it, then you can take a chemistry class later on. Once we wrap up chemistry, we're going to look at earth science, which is what it sounds like. Geology, that's the study of, usually people think rocks, but the study of what makes up the earth, and changes it, things like earthquakes and volcanoes, erosion, what makes mountains, what makes valleys. Meteorology, which is weather, and oceanography, which is the study of the ocean. The ocean being the ocean body, not so much the animals that live in it. And then we'll finish up with astronomy. Astronomy is the physics, the chemistry, and geology of distant stars and planets. So astronomy is not to be confused with astrology. Astrology is things like reading your horoscope. This is not that. Throughout all of this, we're going to watch quite a few videos, and I think one way to make science interesting to people is to learn the stories behind the people who made the discoveries. And so we are going to learn quite a bit about the history of science also, because a lot of these scientists who made these great discoveries and discovered the planets and the stars and named them and so on have really interesting life experiences that I think makes science a little bit more interesting. So to wrap up here, here's a question. In daily life, people are often praised for maintaining some particular point of view, for having the courage of their convictions, especially in our world today. I mean, if you're familiar with the current general environment in the United States, people have very strong ideas and they tend to hold them very strongly. So it's often thought to be a good thing when a person knows what they believe and they know why they believe it. However, a change of mind is seen as a sign of weakness in everyday life. How is this different from the attitude that prevails in science? In science, it's not necessarily a bad idea to change your idea. So that's something I would like you to think about throughout this semester, that in everyday life, yes, it's good to have those philosophical ideas that you really resonate with and you understand and you hold strong. However, in science, keep in mind that a good scientist should always be happy and willing to admit that they're wrong when they're presented with evidence that suggests otherwise. And that's one of the strengths that makes science a really useful tool for making our lives better.